Hello everyone, I'm Skratch. Welcome to the channel. This is another Raid Shadow Legends video. Hope you guys are having an amazing day. Let me know in the comments down below how is your day going so far. Pretty miserable here in the UK. It's been raining all day. It's pretty hot, but it's kind of like rainy, you know. In today's video, I'm gonna explain you what you need to do in order to be able to complete the new upcoming Void Legendary Fusion. So we have this bad boy for the fusion, guys, in case if you missed the previous video. Emic Trunkheart is going to be a Void Legendary and HP based, and is actually a pretty solid champion. And if you are able to get it done, if you have the resources and stuff, you definitely don't want to skip this fusion. But I'm going to walk you through everything that you need to know about what you need to do in order to prepare for it. Now, I want to start by saying this is actually not a classic fusion as I initially thought. That's what it was written on the announcement, but they actually explained it after that is a hybrid fusion. So what does that mean? It means that you're going to have to basically go and get fragments for the epic champions. Then you're going to fuse the epic champions. You're going to rank them up. You're going to ascend them. And then you're going to fuse the legendary. Now, we had this type of fusion in the game a couple of times before. That was with Brogni, and I can't remember with what other champions we had it. But what I can tell you is that this is the hardest model of fusions we ever had in the game, because you cannot skip any events whatsoever. So you might think that, well, if by any chance I'm missing 5 fragments or so, it's fine because the game will sell me the 5 fragments, because that's what usually happens with legendary fusions. Well, let me tell you, this is not the case. If you're missing 5 fragments, the game will only offer you to sell you the 5 missing fragments after the legendary fusion is complete. So then it's pointless to purchase the fragments for the epic champion. Now, we don't know how many epic champions we're gonna have in this fusion, just so you guys keep that in mind. It might be 1, it might be 2 copies, we have no idea whatsoever. But basically, I've done a bit of research, went a bit back in the past, and I found all the details that we needed for the Under Priest Brogni fusion, because this was the very first hybrid fusion we ever had in the game. Now, before they used to bring in 4 epics for every single fusion, they used to bring 4 different rares for every single fusion, or sometimes even 16 rares, and they used to make a massive list of champions, guys. A lot of them were really underwhelming, you know. And recently, they're not doing it anymore. They're either bringing 1 or 2 epics, they're bringing 1 rare or a couple of rares for it, and that's about it, you know. Basically, this is how the Brogni fusion looked. So this right here are the fusion events. So you see, from the Summon Rush, you were able to get 15 fragments for a champion, 20 for the other one. Then you had the champion training event. You were able to get 15 fragments, 15, 20, and 20 for all the 4 heroes. Then we had the Dungeon Divers event. We had 15 fragments for one, 20 for the other. And then Dungeon Divers event 2, 20, 15, and 15. Now, another thing that changed since then is that we usually have 3 Dungeon Divers events. Now we have 2 arena or 3 arena tournaments. And we have 3 artifact enhancement instead of 2. So I would expect all these fragments to be spread around a bit more. But again, this amount of fragments is pretty much equal to what you need in order to get a fusion done. So you really want to make sure you're not skipping anything. They are giving usually, I think, 115 fragments, unless they're changing it this time around. And they used to give 5 extra for the winners in tournaments in some of them, right? So it's not going to make a massive difference unless you're a Kraken and you're winning everything. Then yeah, you don't really have to worry about, oh, I cannot skip one event or stuff like that. But if you are free to play low spender, you're going to want to ensure you're not missing on any of the events and tournaments to ensure that you are collecting the 100 fragments. I'm pretty convinced that they were given 115 fragments for each one of the epics. So here we go. This is the list of events, tournaments. So we had 1 artifact enhancement, we had the Dragon tournament, we had a Classic Arena takedown, Champion Training tournament, Champion Chase tournament, Fire Knight tournament, Dungeon Divers tournament, another artifact enhancement, the Ice Golem, we had a Summon Rush. Now, one thing to keep in mind, this fusion will 100% require you guys to open shards during the Summon Rush, during the Summon Chase as well. So keep in mind, you're going to need shards for both of the events, and mentally you need to prepare for it. Like, save your shards and save the champions for fusions, which I'm going to explain in just a second again, in case if you missed any of my previous videos where I shared these tips with you guys. Then Classic Arena 2, Dungeon Divers number 2, Spider Tournament, Artifact Enhancement number 3. So it seems like this they've been going on for a long time with 3 artifact enhancements and not 2. And then Champion Training Tournament part 2. So we actually had 2 Champion Training Tournaments in here, plus the Champion Training event as well, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe we just had 2 tournaments instead of the events. And that's how we were able to get the fragments for all of these events, guys. And how I mentioned, we were not able to skip anything whatsoever. It was very, very important. Roughly the amount of points, 3,300 up to 4,000. So I would assume that the fragments will start dropping from 2,000 all the way to 4,000 depending on the event. A lot of things changed since this fusion was in the game, but as an idea, this was very, very different before. At the Ice Golem, you were getting at 950 points, you were getting the fragments. Right now, it more than doubled, actually, because it's like 2,250, the average, right? So it doubled the requirement for the fusion, which is crazy. And it seems like they were offering 10 for the winners. But again, I feel like on the most recent one, which I forgot what was the champion, there were only 115 fragments, if I'm not mistaken, per champion. I might be wrong on the amount of fragments per champion, but correct me if I'm wrong. Then right here you see this was for Classic Arena Takedown. Now this might be as well for newish players, and that's why the amount of points is much lower than it is today. This might be for like super new accounts, you know, and then they might make it a bit easier for them. I haven't done a fusion on a free-to-play account in a very long time, so it's pretty hard to call it, but you guys can let me know in the comments down below. And you see, you still needed to have quite a few fusion potions for the fusion, sorry. And you needed to have 16 4-star chickens. So that's still going to be required. You need 16 4-star chickens. And depending on the affinity of all the epic heroes, which we don't have at the moment, we might have one of each affinity. They tend to do this for void legendaries, like to make 1 spirit, magic, force, and 1 void. So that means that we will need to have this amount of potions. So we need 40 force, 20 spirit, 20 void of the greater, superior, 12 force, 6 spirit, 6 void, and then you're gonna need the magic as well if we have a magic champion. This seems to be 2 force, 1 spirit, 1 void champion. So you're gonna need some potions as well, but I feel like it's fairly easy to farm them on the highest stage now. It's not as hard as it used to be, and if you're getting prepared from now, you should be spot on. Then you want to make sure you are preserving your shards. Shards will be the main thing that can screw you in a fusion, guys, okay? So save everything. Mystery shards, ancient shards, void shards, sacreds, everything that you're getting. 2x events, 10x events are constantly coming to the game. You see, we have more events in the game, more summoning events than we ever had before in Raid Shadow Legends. So keep that in mind. You don't need to open your shards today for this event because 10x Duchess will be right around the corner again in a couple of months. And 2x Voids is going to be again in 6 weeks starting from this weekend because we're going to have 2x Voids this weekend, right? So you don't need to open your 20 Voids or how many you have this week. You can wait for it for the fusion and 2x is coming back again. Just if you are interested to go for the fusion. Now talking about silver, we're probably going to need around 40 to 50 million silver to complete all the artifact enhancement events, and not to complete them to maximum necessarily, but just to be able to get the fragments that we need, and of course to be in a sweet spot with it. We want to make sure we have a bit of space to wiggle, a bit of room to wiggle, just in case if we need that extra silver. We might not need 40 million. Hey, we might be able to do it with 30, but better to be over prepared than unprepared. It's true, during the champion training tournament events, during the time when we're farming dungeon events, we're going to get some silver back while we are doing the fusion, but just to be prepared, try to save your silver as well. Then when we are talking about energy, guys, you're going to get energy from the daily pack that drops in. You're getting 1 pot of energy every second day. You can actually save all those in here. They're going to be on for like 99 days if I'm not mistaken. So just save them because they're not going anywhere and that will help you with the energy. Now, every day we're roughly getting around 1k energy that we can use. You're probably going to need loads of energy for the fusion. You have all the champion training events. You have the dungeon tournaments as well, which roughly require around 2,500 energy per event. You're gonna have 4 of those. That's 10k energy. The champion training event and tournament, again, they require around 10 plus k energy. That takes you already to 20k energy. The dungeon divers might require a bit of extra energy in order to be completed. So probably, again, I'm gonna approximate it just to be safe, but we might need around 25, 30k plus energy in order to get this done. I know it sounds a lot. The fusion is on for like 14 days, 15 days, right? Every day you're gonna get 1k plus energy. You might have some gems saved up. All this will help you all around. Then you're going to need some chickens, right? So make sure you're saving some 4-star chickens. Make sure you're saving some potions. I need to go and farm some arcane potions for whatever reason. I'm always low on those ones. And that should get us prepared for the fusion. Now, the next thing that I really want to share with you guys again is save all the champions that can be used for fusions. So we have the Relic Keeper fusion, we have the Broadma fusion. All this will give you points in a champion chase tournament. Like if you've seen it in the previous fusion, I've actually managed to get my champion chase tournament done by barely opening any shards because I had a few champions ready for my Broadma fusion. How you can see, I still have loads of them saved up. I'm always saving them up. I might have a few for Relic Keeper. I have a couple there. None of that, but I can farm it. We have one more there. A couple here. So I'm always trying to prepare for these champion chase tournaments. And another thing to keep in mind is when you are collecting the fragments for all the epics that you're getting in the fusion, only open those fragments during the champion chase tournament, because every epic will give you 250 points or 350 points depending if it's an epic, if it's a void or a non-void epic. You know, void epics give 350 points while the non-void give 250 points. And if you are preparing with all these guys, if you're aware of what you need to do, you're gonna complete this fusion without a problem whatsoever. Now, hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, don't forget to smash that like, subscribe to the channel. It really, really helps me a lot. And that was all for this video. If you feel like I missed something and you want to add it on, please let me know in the comments down below. But that was all for the video. Much love, and I'll catch you all soon in the next one. Peace.